Hey guys, it's been a while since I've made a video because I've been clearly by my background, I've been working on music a lot, and I've been working on like live recorded stuff. And recently, I published my first full length album called Lovetale, and I wanted in this video to just break down like my thought process for each song. Now it is instrumental, so there are no lyrics, but I just wanted to break down like what I was thinking, what I wanted for each song, because I thought that would be fun. Let me pull it up real quick. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so this is my Bandcamp page over here with all of the songs on Lovetale. You can see that. Hold on. It's been a while. Right there. There's a different cover that's like the same. That's the deluxe album, which includes two more songs that were kind of like shorter, or like I decided to just cut them, or I didn't finish them in time, so I finished them for the deluxe album. We'll get to those two songs, but for now we're just gonna listen to like the normal Lovetale album. So the first song is titled "Hello." Now for my debut album, this full instrumental thing, I thought that it would be funny if like the first song on probably the most important album, or for the first album that I'm gonna make, if the first song was titled the least impactful thing I can think of. So I decided to title it "Hello," and it's just like your standard intro track. Let me see if you can hear this. Probably want to up the volume of that. I found this cool like sound effect on FL Studio. I was getting really into The Weeknd with Dawn FM when I made this song, and I wanted to sound like that. So big synths and like hit hard with that chord, sort of. And then I love transitions between songs, so sort of like a count in. Anyway, so I have that. Bandcamp is weird. So I have that little count in. It doesn't really work here because of like the loading speed, but what can you do? Anyway, next song is "Ode to the Front Lawn - So Many But Only One." So when I originally made this album, I made the first song, which was called "So Many But Only One," and that was the first song I made on FL Studio, which I used to make this album. And I made the song, and I thought it was good, so I released it as a single to like hype up the album. I always make the mistake of releasing singles before all of the songs on the album are done, so I'm trying to fix that before my next album. But for this one, I made "So Many But Only One," and then like after a couple of months, I was like, man, this is really bad, because I didn't know much about music theory, so like the entire thing kind of like sounded bad to my newly like acquired ears for music theory. And I just was just like, man, I don't want this on the album anymore. Luckily, I stopped being that way with a couple of songs, because if you're that way, it's just going to be in development hell for its entire life. But I was like, man, I could do so much better for like this first song. So I made this one, which is heavily inspired by songs of Johnny Manchild, like "Stay Awake" off of One Big Beautiful Sound, and just like big orchestral sounds. Yeah. This riff, yeah, that riff is important because it kind of like encapsulates the entire album. And for any future music that I make, whenever I'm referring to something from this album, I thought it would be cool to include that riff, because it's like the most important riff off the album. So I'm kind of grooving. Yeah, I'll just let the music speak for itself, unless I want to say something. really wanted like bombastic thing for that transition, so I found this like big drum. I was also honing my skills in build-ups around this time. Okay. With that riff, it wasn't always that way, because okay, for this I'm gonna have to get on my keyboard. So for the song, it uses a 1-6-4-5 chord progression, which is very standard. It's just so when I was writing the melody, I was just humming dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Like but I was worried because of how common the chord progression was that it had already been used. Like, wait, hold on. Jeez. Like, that sounds good, right? But like, it sounded too familiar to me, and as a starting out artist, I was like, I don't want to get sued on my first album, so I decided to change it to something that was a bit less that sounded less recognizable to me. Which I think that it's not necessarily better, but it's as good as the original melody. So, yeah. If you couldn't hear me there, I apologize because I don't really feel like moving my microphone. You live and learn. Looking back, this sound is a bit flat. Like I don't feel like there's enough going on. It's not like that in every song, though. I still like it. Still proud of it. I'm so proud of that. Actually, no. The original melody was that doom 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 doom. I was originally having that for the chorus. It doesn't really have words, so it's just like continue. Yeah, but I originally had that melody for the chorus, and I was like, man, that really is not good. So then I moved on to the doom 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 doom, and then I had doom 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 doom. So yeah. I think I should have given the strings a bit more oomph, a bit more punch, because they're kind of quiet here. This build-up, I think, is So my brother told me this. When somebody listens to a song, when somebody listens to music, they usually listen to that song for like one moment in particular. And I was like, man, after he said that, I was like, man, that's so true. Like, whenever I listen to a song, I'm usually looking for just like that one moment in it where it's just like, where it hits for the first time. So I was like, man, he's so right about that. I should use that to my favor. So I wanted, like, and he said that usually whenever he listens to music, and I realize whenever I listen to music, my favorite part is usually the bridge, because that's when it sort of shakes up, and then it just makes it hit even harder on the chorus. So for a lot of these songs, I put like I put a lot of effort into all of it, but I tried to make like this one particular moment in it, or like I try to make one particular section in it like really hit really hard, sort of make that moment the reason why I would want to listen to the song. So yeah, that was what I was thinking about when I was making this build up and sort of all the other bridges or like special moments in the other songs. This was also the first time that I reused an intro for the bridge, which I thought was clever at the time. And sort of gives that riff even more like meaning, or even more like, how would I phrase that? Even more importance. I forgot the word there. I like at the end of the song sort of like having the chorus, but a lot is stripped back, so it feels like we still have that groove going, but we're kind of calming down here. And then the reason why this song is 48 seconds longer than like the main song is because I still wanted to reference the original So Many But Only One, so I include the melody in there from the original song at the end. So I kind of fell in love with like this idea of having a song completely fall apart at the end. I just thought, like, okay, so when I was making this, I was listening to a lot of Will Wood songs, and a lot of his songs just kind of like, a lot of stuff is happening in the final chorus, and then it just kind of falls apart, and it just goes crazy. So I didn't want to do that entirely. So I decided to just like have it fall apart a little bit, and that's why on a number of these songs, I have that sort of like falling apart violin as sort of like a motif. So anyway, for this next song, it's called "Were You Always Here?" (parentheses Mr. Somebody Learns How to Merge on the Highway). Going back to Will Wood, I fell in love with these long and overly complex titles, because I thought they captured more. And with an instrumental album, when I'm trying to tell a story, like I am trying to tell with this album, it's hard to tell a story when you're not like saying words, when you're not actually saying what the story is. You're not actually telling them what the story is. It makes it even more difficult. So I decided that I would title the songs so that the titles kind of clued you in as to what the story was. The music also tells the story, but I thought that not as many people would pick up on the actual story being told if it was just the instrumentals. And you can say, "Oh, I would pick up on it." No, you would not, because I think I did a fine job. If I'm explaining to myself what certain parts of the music mean, it makes sense to me, and that's what I was going for. But I admit it would not make any sense to anybody else because it's too nuanced, I guess. That's something I guess I need to work on. Or I don't. I make music for me, and I think that that's enough. So, Anyway, here's a song. I had a friend tell me that this melody sounded like Baby Shark. I cannot hear it for the life of me. So to go along with the theming, I wanted the chorus in particular to have like a bunch of these different aspects going on. And then for like the final note of that phrase, I would have everything sort of come together in this great harmony, which reflects the story of the song, which is like joining a friend group and becoming a mainstay, I guess. Which is why at the end of all the choruses, I also have that. Hold on, I have that. Doom, 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 doom. I really wanted to include a choir sound in the song, and this entire album was made with a MIDI software, so I was relying on the synthesizers that were in FL Studio, and they don't really have the best choir selection, and I wasn't really comfortable using plugins because I was new to FL Studio, so yeah, I just picked the best choir, and I think it sounds okay. But now that the choirs come in, you kind of see what I mean when all of it comes together at the end. And then you kind of see that choir like taking over here. You can't really hear the rest of it, and that's one of the hidden meanings that I actually intended. I might go off on like, oh, this part means this, when I didn't intend for that to happen. It just kind of did, because I had that desire, like everything needs to mean something. Because that when everything means something, that makes me feel good, make me feel like, man, I did this really right. I was able to tell this story really well. I think I made this final chorus go on a bit too long, but I wanted the songs to all be more than 3 minutes unless it was like an opening song. And for some of these, I barely squeaked past 3 minutes, and other ones I just soared way over. This one's my least favorite. Okay, hold on. So this one's titled Midnight Calls, the best a landline can feel, brackets, quiet but clear. Some of these I just started rambling. Yeah, it was really just Midnight Calls, the best a landline can feel. And for a lot of these titles, when you look at, say, the Normal album by Will Wood, you can just see, oh, I like this format. I'm going to completely copy it for this title. So this one was like Outliers and Hypocrites. Yeah. It's still the title still like says what I wanted it to. It's still like it portrays the part of the story that this song represents. So I can't get too mad at it. I was so proud of that transition. You could not believe how proud I was of that transition. Okay, I feel like this part of the song, I'm gonna tell you right now, there are no good synth guitars. There are also no good synth saxophones, which is why you won't find any saxophones on this record. But for some reason, I thought that synth guitars sounded good. So you'll hear them on a couple of the songs. Some synth guitars sound good, but when you try to get like a realistic guitar sound, it doesn't really work. Synths are best when it comes to strings, like violin, bass. MIDI programs are really good with realistic drums, realistic pianos, and then electronic instruments. Not much else. For the rest, you want to live record it. Has a nice groove to it. Okay, so you'll hear completely copied the transition from the first chorus to the first verse. This verse is my least favorite part on the album because when I made this song, I knew very little about music theory, and for some reason I thought this melody was good. And when I tried to go back and fix it to make it something else, it wouldn't let me for some reason. So it's just this, and this is where I cringe every single time. And then the violin just comes in and makes it worse. Ooh, no, oh, no. But the transition coming up, I'm actually kind of proud of. Bro, that took me like an hour for that one thing. I didn't know too much about music theory, so I was just like trial and erroring those harmonies to make it transition well. And man, it came out pretty well. Okay. The next song. Sorry, but we're out of stock. Dash solo, but only none. You see what I did there with the two titles. Anyway, this song is the one that I show people when they ask, "Ooh, what songs have you made? What instrumental songs have you made?" Because if they ask me what songs I've made, I just play something where I'm singing on the piano. But when somebody asks, which instrumental song have you made? Show me an instrumental song you made. Which happens very little because not many people care. But when somebody asks me, show me a song that you made on the computer, I show them this one. It's not my favorite one that I've made, but it's the most exemplary. It uses the least electronic stuff. It's the one that the adults. It's the one that my parents and my family would be proud to say, I made this one, because I don't feel, well, I'm trying to find a way to say this in the nicest way possible. I feel like it would be more awkward if they were like, look at what my son made, and then I'd show them one of my more hip-hop based instrumentals. This one's the crowd pleaser, for lack of a better term. I was also really proud of the chord progression on this one. It took me a while to come up with, but the chord progression is... Okay. So I found this very School Musical-esque chord progression. It's pretty much F major, F suspended, I think is what it's called. F major again, and then C major, first inversion. But I found that if you put a D minor chord underneath that F major, it just pretty much becomes this like spread out D minor 7. Then if you raise that A in the D minor to the A sharp along with the F suspended chord, it still sounds good. Go back to that original, and then move the D minor down to C major for that, and then it ends up sounding like. That sounds really dramatic, and I was like, man, this is great. I'm gonna include in like 3 songs, and so I did. On the EP Semi-Silent Symphony, 2 songs on that 6-song EP have that chord progression, and then I used it again here, and I tried it up to like, oh, those 2 songs were references to this song, but like it was like those 2 songs foreshadowed this song. That was not the truth. I just made a bunch of songs with this chord progression because I thought it sounded cool. Then I found like interesting ways that I could use the bass and that brass 80 thing. And then I made this cool drum beat, man. But at this point I wanted to wake them up. Okay, never mind. Not for another measure. but I want to wake him up with this cool piano thing. So I just, you'll hear it. Woo! Bro, when I made that, I was like, whoo, man. This song was me being like, man. Hold on. And then when it all comes together, it's just like, man, it hits so hard. Man, it just hits so hard, man. This song on the album feels like the first one. Hold on, we're going back. This I was saying that this song on the album feels like the first one where I knew what I was doing. Okay, we're just gonna have to go through this again. Listen to this. Bro, no way. So jazzy, man. So jazzy. This part gets kind of repetitive, but it's fine. You know, this is music. My goal for this was just to be music that you can like lie your head back and just like be like that to do homework too. Let me see if I can remember what I did here. I think I did like... Nope. I actually don't remember what I did here. But I know that the bottom chord alternated between... Oh wait, it was my... That was definitely not it. But I knew that the bottom chord, for this entire song, the chord progression kind of messes with like that chord on top of chord thing. So for the entire thing, for this part, I knew it was for the bottom chords. It just alternated between that D minor and the C major. So I just, for that little arpeggio thing at the bottom, it kept swapping between those two chords. But yeah, I think it ended up sounding pretty good. Let me turn down the music a little bit, at least in the recording software, so that my voice is a little this late into the video. Then this is like one of my famed transitions. Not really famed. It's pretty standard. Yeah. Man, imagine if a rapper just got Scott on this beat, man. Yo. SpongeBob SquarePants, Patrick Star, Sandy Cheeks. Mr. Krabs won't spend any of his money. Hey. I love SpongeBob SquarePants. When I get in the club, I square dance. You know that I'm wearing some fly pants. Hey, I don't know. I don't know. This is my most rap-a-beatable song, I guess. And I ended with that D minor chord. originally, so for all my albums, I so far, or at least for all my planned albums for so far, at the beginning I made the mistake of like making this full track list idea, and it would be way too long. Like I cannot finish a 16 track album. I won't care about this album for that long. So I fixed that to where I just write a bunch of songs, and then when I'm happy with like these bunch of songs, I'll just put them all into an album, which is what a lot of people do. And when I want to plan something in between two songs, I'll just plan it in between two songs that I've already written, instead of plan ahead that I'd have these two songs connect to each other. So this song and Climbing You're My Slippery Slope with Redacted, which is down here, were originally supposed to transition into each other. But with how structured this album was, with like the 2 acts that I wanted, and then I didn't finish enough songs for it, and I had to like restructure how the story was told, those 2 songs ended up getting separated, which is not the best. So yeah. But this song was initially supposed to transition into Climbing You're My Slippery Slope with Redacted. Or I'll just call it Slippery Slopes. So I've been thinking maybe I just put them out as like a single afterward. But that would be too late after the song's already released. So I kind of ran out of time for that one. You live and you learn. Next time I won't do that, and I'll have 2 songs perfectly transition between each other. But for now, what can you do? This song is kind of just an intermission. It brings back those like broken violins again. Genius. Okay, let me go back to the keyboard once more, friends. That chord, I'm pretty sure, is just a C major, but I added the F. Notice how that does not sound good? I do not know for the life of me how I made that sound good. I don't know how I introduced that F and just made it sound good like I did. Like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here and say, oh, I'm so genius. I did this thing that I don't even know how I did this thing. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying it's so I was so stupid that I ended up succeeding, brother. Anyway. Here. That's another transition that I think I got right. This song is one of my favorites. This is when the more hip-hop influenced parts came in, like a bunch of hi-hats playing and more electronic elements, because that's part of the storytelling, where it's like, okay, I'm really happy for these songs. I'm going to use acoustic elements for them. And then oh man, this thing happened in this song, and that song has a couple of more electronic instrumentation, and then boom, really sad, a lot of electronic instrumentation. That's how the music sort of tells that story. Anyway, the title of the song is You're Taking This Well, But I'm Taking It Better, which I personally really like that title. Also, let me talk about that chord progression. Sorry to go back to the keyboard too many times, but most of this album is in C sharp major, which is start on C sharp and end on C sharp. And the chord progression for this song is C sharp major, B flat minor, and then I just go completely out of left field with an A major, which is not in the key. It's actually in the C minor key. So it's like, I thought that was a really cool chord progression. But this time I didn't use it in a bunch of songs. I only used it in this one. Well, I didn't use it in a bunch of released songs. I only used it in this released song. I bet there are dozens of unreleased mini song files that use that chord progression. They're coming with a bunch of the hi-hats. Don't come at me if my hi-hat game isn't that good. I tried to find the most punchy kick and snare that I could, and I think I came out with a pretty good set. I just wanted a really abrupt change there. Just completely out of left field. And then it just becomes this happy song. And then this part. Oh wait, never mind. Then you hear that faint, like the original melody playing, and this song is supposed to, like, even with the title, You're Taking This Well, but I'm Taking It Better, it's supposed to be like two people taking like the same situation, the same type of situation, in completely different ways. One person not taking it so well, and then the other person just really just taking it really well. And then here, combine the two. Try to have the first person make their situation better, you know? Try to take into account this other person's perspective and try to make their perspective better through that. That's what I wanted to encapsulate with this song. I wanted a really abrupt cutoff there. Like, just boom, it's done. But the track is not done. If it was done, then that would break my no song under 3 minute mark. Which, you know, I'm going to talk about that for a little bit here. With song lengths, I tend to like longer songs. It's most apparent in my favorite song right now, which is Sufjan Stevens' Impossible Soul, which is a 25-minute long song. That I just like longer songs. So, but the difference between making songs digitally and making songs on here is that when I'm recording demos on here, on my phone, the songs will always come out like 5 minutes or longer. And that's because I'm mostly improvising the lyrics. Mostly for when I make songs on here, I have the chord progression, I have the instrumentation down on here. And I'm just making up the lyrics. And I probably have the chorus written down too. And I'm just making up the verses. But whenever I record demos on here, it's so much easier to like just... It's so much easier to spend time here, because when I'm playing a song on here, I'm not spending as long on each second of the song. I'm pressing the keys, and that's that second done. I'm not mulling over that like phrase for like 10 minutes. And that's why I think it's so easy. It's so much easier to make longer songs on the keyboard than it is to make longer songs digitally, because digitally, if you want a longer song, you have to put in that much more work into it. And when I was making this album, I did not feel like spending another 2 hours to double the song's length to make it 6 minutes and 24 seconds, when it would only take me the song's length. It might take me like another 15 minutes of just planning what would happen in the song to make the song double the length here. So that's why on my upcoming record, where it's all recorded on here, the songs will be so much longer, because it's so much longer than 3 minutes. Like, I'm not even worrying about that 3-minute thing, and I decided not to have that because it's stupid. Like, song length shouldn't matter. But anyway, on my upcoming record, all the songs are going to be so much longer than the songs on here. Maybe not some of the 5-minute songs on here. There might be one that's less than 5 minutes on the new record. But all the songs will be longer because it's just so much easier to make longer songs in live recordings. Anyway, enough of me talking. Back to the song. I kind of wanted that, like, combination chorus to be a bit overkill on purpose, so that I could have this laid-back thing with the more hopeful piano to be like, this is how I actually should be taking this. This is how I actually should be reacting, instead of trying to react this way this other person did. This is my happy ending. This is what my happy ending should be, not me taking my happy ending from somebody else. Anyway. Climbing your my slippery slopes with redacted. So, this song, which was originally called Slippery Slopes, this song is probably my most hip-hop based one. I wasn't really into hip-hop when I made this record, but as of late I've been listening to more of it. Anyway, let's go to go. You see that it starts with the same chord that Sorry But We're Out of Stock ends with. Those two songs were supposed to connect, and they didn't. But you can see what I'm talking about, with more hip-hop based on the drums. Oh, it hits. It just hits. That bass, as well as like the delayed hit of the violin, make it hit even harder, man. I use 7th notes for that. This song I used the last 7 notes for harmony, just to have as much going on as there is. It's hard to not have certain parts of a song, certain instruments basically doing the same thing, unless you find as many ways you can harmonize with those chords, which for this song the chord progression is so simple. It's just it's just E minor, E minor, D minor, D minor, C minor, C major, sorry. It's such a simple chord progression. Yeah, so it's hard to think of new things, so I kind of had to... I had to think of new ways that I could harmonize with that. Wait, no, it's... yeah. This is like the first time that I played any of these songs on that piano. I seem to remember how to play these songs a lot more than I thought I did. In this song, I tried to mess around with those like with those more like a lot of notes at once. That's not the lot of notes at once. Or just a lot of notes in the melody. Hold on. As of recording this, it's November 5th, and I'm running desperately low on Halloween candy. So I'm having to dig through just this bag of wrappers to find anything that's not already eaten. Go back in that hard-hitting chorus, man. I really think that this record picks up the more you listen to it. Like, starts strong, kind of dips on tracks 3 and 4, and then just goes up from there, man. So if you're willing to struggle through 6 minutes, 20 seconds of this record, you're going to enjoy the rest, like 25 minutes of it. I barely managed to get over 30 minutes with this. As much as I might scrutinize myself for having time goals, I really wanted an above 30-minute record. And I was able to get like 31 minutes and something seconds, which is about as long as the Silk Sonic record. So, you know, and I had one less track, so I'm proud. And you know what? Music is getting shorter. Like, I love Joji. And he recently released, yesterday he released Smithereens. And man, I love that album, but man, is it short. 23 minutes. Like, 9 songs. I waited 2 years for a new album, and I got a 23-minute, like that's like falling off of Kanye, the falling off of Kanye length record. Anyway. When he made Ye and Jesus is King. Ye is okay. Jesus is King is... Anyway. Here, going back to what I was saying about like that one moment. Here, I was talking over it. Let's go back. Since I had that overwhelmingly electronic thing, I wanted to just like change it up immediately. Well, not immediately. I just wanted to change it up spontaneously. So I decided to just like, boom. Now it's all with acoustic instruments. It's the same thing, but with acoustic instruments, which I thought was fun. Even the bass. It's just kind of groovy. Feels like what you would have going on in the background of like a barn party or something. And man, you have it all come together. I'll admit in this like final like all come together thing, you can't really hear the acoustic elements, but they're there. I promise you, they're there. I wanted to have like a really cheesy ending to that one, for it's like big and bombastic as the song is. I wanted it had to have just a really cheesy and really anticlimactic ending. So I decided to ding ding, tss. Like the way like a little kid would end his song. Okay, this song. Okay, there's a big backstory to this one. So, in the making of this, I watched Bo Burnham's Inside, and I was like, man, this is really cool. I'm going to do that. So I just, like, made a bunch of these songs to just perform in front of that window, sitting on a chair that was there before I got the keyboard. So I just made a bunch of these songs, and I ended up scrapping it. But before I did that, I had the finale song all figured out, and it had this great, like, really good ending thing with references to all the other songs in it, or my favorite songs in it. And the corporation was like, where was I? What the heck did it go like? And I wanted to sound really heroic, so I only included major chords in it. C sharp major, B major, A major, G sharp major, B major. Then I would repeat that. But instead of having it just be, because that would be boring. It went. Mixed with all the other instruments that I put into it, it ended up making it sound a lot fuller, a lot bigger than it would sound if I just played the actual chords. So anyway, let's listen to this. I think this is my favorite song. Oh, I forgot to tell you the name of it. So, name of it's A Story Told Only Once, or A Journey's End, or Salamander Springs, parentheses, Never Third, end parentheses, end parentheses. So, A Story Told Only Once clues you in as to, like, where this fits in the story of all of it. A Journey's End, just, it's the end of the album. And Salamander Springs, there's this summer camp that I do go to, called Lime Hollow. And whenever I went there, every summer I would try to go to the same hiking spot, which is called Salamander Springs, and it's my favorite because it's so cool. It's like this little waterfall thing. When you think waterfall, not a big one. It's like a little waterfall, like it's actually about like the height of me, maybe, or like 3/4 of me. And you could drink the water. It was so clear. Anyway, I love going there. I still love going there. So I decided to name the end of this album, which I'm proud of. I decided to name it after my favorite place to end up at Lime Hollow, which is Salamander Springs. And I wanted this song to encapsulate the joy that I got from going to Salamander Springs. Never Third, that's also clues you in as to where this place is in the story of the album. I'm not going to tell you the story. But I'm going to tell you that this song is about getting courage. Actually, I'll explain it later. When you kind of get to that part of the song. I think this song has my best build-up because of that, like, 8th note bass that you hear in a lot of old music. That melody is a complete stroke of luck as to how I got it to sound that good. This melody is from the special that I made. I'm not gonna say it's cheating to take it from another thing I made, because I still made it. So, you know. It's just like I repurposed it. I recycled my own stuff to make stuff for me. Or for my project. It's not cheating, I swear. Yeah, I swear, it's not, I swear, it's not cheating. This part, I added all those instruments. I kept on adding these instruments, and this time it's not just to extend the length of the song. I wanted it to sound like, you know, I'm gaining courage, man. You know, I'm about to do this, man. I'm gaining all this courage, man. I'm about to do it. I'm about to do it, man. I'm gonna do it. I can do it. I can do this. Yeah, that's what I wanted to feel like. I was gaining all this courage, man. Then I did it. Then it just goes back. And this is, me doing it, man. Me doing the thing that I gathered this courage for. And man, is it groovy. Boom. Okay. So, I'm gonna go back to the keyboard to explain this part. So, as I said before, the song, at least so far, has no minor chords. It's... So, when you're doing that, and you just, out of nowhere, just put in a minor chord, like a minor chord of that scale, like a... When you're listening to a song, you're getting used to all this, like, just all of this major, like, happy sound, that little that minor chord, it really just like it hits. It's like, man, that thing that I built up courage for did not work. Then here, so that broken apart thing, one note mergers. Okay, there. Okay, I'm actually going to explain this. Because when I was recording this on my MIDI keyboard, I made a mistake. Let me move this to like a strings thing. That sounds terrible. There we go. So I have this like I have this root thing coming out. Let me turn that down even more actually. So I have this like one note emerging. So when I was recording it, I accidentally played an E when I was supposed to play an F. So I accidentally made that emerging chord minor, and then I quickly changed it to major, and it made this, and it made this, like... It made it sound like I'm minor I'm turning into the major again. And that was like, man, that really hits. Let me play this small segment again so you can hear it. You can hear that change, and then you hear what you once had coming back into frame. And slowly you realize, man, all of that stuff that I built up the courage for, it might not have worked out. It might not have ended up the way that you wanted it to. But you know what? You did it. And that's all that matters. Then you get to sit back and enjoy what happened because you had the courage to say that. You get to sit back and enjoy what you've made, whether it's a mess or not. You get to sit back and relax knowing that you did it. And I still wanted it, like, broken. The broken, like, the violin in there, which, you know, doesn't really fit after that, like, huge feat, but, you know, when you have a motif, you gotta use it. So anyway, that's my hour-long explanation of my record, Lovetale. If you want to listen to it without me talking over it and pausing it and playing my keyboard back there, there's a link in the description. If you don't want to and you just want to listen to the album through this video, or don't want to listen to the album at all, that's fine. I don't see why you would want to listen to the album only through this video. But yeah, have a good day. Yeah.